fantastic game so far today, and no reason to expect that we're not going to see the same here in the final. Yeah, I know, Jim. I can't keep track of who called which games. You had a couple of you had a game earlier today. Did you happen to do one of the men's games?
No, I did.
Okay.
I was doing one of the women's games. I did Caitlin's game, and that was a barn burner as well. It just kind of came down to the end, but gave up a 4 coming out of nowhere and ended up having the last one to win.
First stone of this final thrown to the center guard. We've had a couple of come arounds. Now another attempt. Cameron Olafson, the lead for the McDonald team, looking to come around on the outturn side. Just going to rub the guard. Didn't move it very far. That's important. We're playing the no-tick zone here as well. I have seen a few. I don't know whether you've seen any, Jim. I've seen a few rocks coming by like that moved a rock off the center line. And, of course, the penalty then is the rock goes back and you lose your shooter.
Yeah, I saw one this morning, a pretty significant penalty, really, for something like that when you might only move a rock 4 or 5 inches, but that's enough.
Yeah, it changes the way teams call the game. You know, it used to be if you were playing a shot like what they were just playing, because you don't like that center guard up there anyway, you'd tight ice it a little bit, and if you crash the guard and push it off the center line, no big deal. Well, now it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Kevin Marsh throws the second stones for the McEwen team. This team based out of Saskatchewan. I've known the Marsh boys for a long time, so I'm going to give you the hint, Jim, on how to tell them apart. Okay. Kevin's on his toe.
Okay.
Daniel's a little more flat foot.
Well, that's a good hint, because I was wondering that earlier. I was thinking, who holds it? I know one of them holds the broom for Mike, but I didn't know how to figure out which one it would be.
Kevin holds the broom.
Yeah.
And, I'm very familiar with that team. One of the reasons for that, and they've discussed it, or had discussed it last year when they put the team together, is that Colton is such a good brusher.
Yeah.
In fact, they rely so much on Colton's brushing. You'll notice he'll switch from one side to the other, so it doesn't matter which turn they're playing. He's usually the inside guy.
Right. Power guy.
The power guy, yep. Elias Hamanicki, the second, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Might be pronouncing it correctly, but I don't think that's who it is. I think this is Kayla McCusker, actually out of Truro, Nova Scotia, sparing for these guys this weekend.
Okay, I wondered about that this afternoon. I had them in the semifinal, just because he had a different jacket on, although it's a bigger jacket. I thought perhaps he was a little on the chilly side. I saw a couple of toques this afternoon as well. I saw one of the Japanese women's teams earlier in the event wearing a heavier jacket, the skip. So.
Yeah, Kalen usually skips himself, but he's he's a young guy in great shape, lots of power also for sweeping, and one of the top probably two in the province of Nova Scotia as far as players go, and he probably knows these guys from some Canadian juniors over the last few years, I would imagine.
Okay, that helps me out, because between all I've got is a little picture to try to identify them, and when he's wearing a ball cap and a jacket that doesn't have a name on it,
yeah.
It's hard to know.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the other thing is I'm an old guy. I could always just say all these young guys look the same.
Yeah. The other one, this stuff is Kristen Gordon now, I think it is, Kristen McCusker before, and I called her that for 7 ends today, and then I realized I don't think that's the right name. That's not the name on the jacket. Sure enough, that she's been married since the last time they got
a maiden name. Yeah. I get caught with those calling the women's games all the time. To the point where the people that I work with in Saskatchewan usually start poking fun at me in between games, knowing that it's just going to make me make that mistake.
Yeah.
It gets a little roll on top of the 2 stones in the 4-foot. Still room to get the yellow out.
Yeah, nobody has any real serious advantage here yet.
Colton Wooden flash, quiet weight on the outturn. Look to make play on that Yellowstone at the top of the 8-foot and perhaps roll in front of the other two. I would have liked a little bit more curl. Just rubs his own. I don't think he wanted to break that angle up yet.
No. Holden certainly has had a balance of positions over the last number of years. He, playing lead for a while, and then he skipped his own team, and now he's playing third. And I don't know what all in between. You would know better than I, but certainly has been around the lineup for the last few years.
Yeah, he was playing second when he played for Laycock here. When he moved over and played for Cooey, I think he was playing second there too.
He probably was, yeah.
I think, if I remember right. With the hit, they roll under to the top of the 4-foot. I think they might have liked to have rolled a little farther on this one.
Yeah, I think maybe it wouldn't have been bad if he had rolled all the way over almost behind it.
There's a run double there.
Flash didn't look very happy when he let that one go.
No.
Well, I didn't really see on my screen. I didn't really see how that happened. It kind of herky-jerky here.
Yeah, we apologize. We're having some technical issues with the video feed early in this final draw. We'll get that sorted out.
Well, it certainly sets up the McDonald team here pretty well now to have a good shot at a deuce. If he can even these ones up, he could be in a good position. Yeah, we're back.
Okay, be honest. Who spilled coffee on their computer?
Yeah.
Skip Stone's here in the first end. Mike McEwen with his first. Looking for the double. And as a bonus, he's going to spin up in behind the corner.
Yeah, very, very good shot and very good result with that rolling up there as well.
We seem to have lost one camera, so hard to tell. We don't have the end shot to see how much of that's buried, but he's certainly got a piece under the corner guard.
Yeah. I think McDonald looked like he was indicating he was going to play a draw.
Play the corner freeze, sure. Yeah. Well, that's still a chance to get his deuce. He gets a corner freeze in front of there anyway. Certainly a part of that rock's undercover.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Mike won't be able to make a play to remove it if you can get the corner freeze on. They had made an attempt on this similar draw. Now, this is where we first lost the cameras, but it was Dallas Burgess with his first. Pardon me, it might have been his last stone. They didn't get behind cover anyway, so they might have a better idea of the line now.
You got a lot of room to work it in there, but
line looks pretty close as he's coming by the guard. Might be a little strong, doesn't want to bounce off. Just a little rub. Boy, when that came by the guard, it kind of looked like it stopped curling. You would have thought he would have had a bigger piece on the corner.
Yeah, I agree. I think though that he might have just enough, might have got just enough curl out of it that it makes it a little hard for McEwen to remove it without moving his own.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be tough to not lose his own stone, but at least he's not worried about, or maybe Presumably, not worried about a deuce yet. He does have to get by the guard, but
it's more or less open hit for these guys, so he shouldn't have too much trouble getting it out.
Pretty tough to jam it. Let's put it that way.
Exactly, yeah. Shaping up to maybe be a blank end here.
Could be. Looking at that broom, thinking Mike's not. I'm betting he's not throwing this very hard. You throw this with about hack to bumper, even if it just touches the sideline, so get to about, say, 3/4. It may not push the red all the way out of the rings.
That's true enough.
And if he can sit 2, he forces Jordon to make a draw for his single. Or I guess he could hit this stone, but he'll have to play for 1 anyway.
Exactly, yeah. Found that I haven't done a lot of games, but the 3 or 4 games I've done, it doesn't curl quite as hard going to the outside as it does to the inside. So it's see them taking a lot of times taking not very much ice for these inside out hits. Maybe real close to jamming this one though.
Sweeping for curl. Wanted to hit it a little thicker than that. With that quiet weight throwing at that, hitting it that thin, he does not get it out the back.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether or not he would have been better off just going at that with a little bit harder and just settling with the fact that he might end up giving up a blank end at worst, but because definitely had to get rid of that rock. That rock had to go somehow. What a good opportunity here for McDonald to get off to a good start here in the first end.
Five and 0 through round robin play and defeated Mike McEwen in the last game of the round robin. That's what gives him last rock here in the opening end of play, trying to use it for 2 points. Jordon McDonald, and they're sweeping for curl early.
I think he's fine.
It's going to come in nicely. Makes the nose hit, stays right there. Jordon McDonald, 2 points here in this final to start things off. Mike McEwen will have last rock in the second.
What do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one little, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Saville Community Sports Center, home to the Saville Shootout. Edmonton. I had the privilege to play in this facility a couple times. When I played in it, it still had that new car smell. A little older now. Still a pretty new facility by curling standards.
Yeah.
Jordon McDonald with the deuce in the first end brings the first stone into the top of the forefoot. McEwen team throws the corner guard. Now, I doubt that they wanted it quite that close to the center line.
No, I think they would have liked to get another foot or 18 inches of curl on that, get it over to the side a little further, but one thing you knew was that McEwen was not going to take a lot of time getting at it here.
No, I had a chance to call a couple of their games earlier in this event, and of course I saw them plenty at the Tankard here in Saskatchewan last year. They do play very aggressively. They're one of the teams, and it's not because they're a draw-oriented team. They're some of the best hitters in the world, and Mike certainly likes to play the angles, but that's just what allows them to play aggressively.
Yeah.
They'll spend maybe 1 or 2 shots longer than some teams trying to set up an angle because they trust their ability to make the big shots with those angles. He's got Colton Flash throwing the third stones and Mike himself throwing the last 2. Makes for some interesting setups to some ends. Looking to come around wide on the out turn now.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, that's a really good shot. If only because I haven't seen that even attempted that much all weekend. To have to go that wide to come around a corner guard. Usually when they're coming around the corners, they're coming from the other side. The other side is not accessible right now.
Yeah.
So there was probably a little bit of a guess there. Good shot.
I'd be the same as you. I've seen them go out on and coming around on that side, but they're not usually quite that far out.
Yeah, they're coming to the center line, not trying to draw to the edge of the forefoot.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to get pretty interesting here.
Looking to come around the face of his own stone. Probably has to touch it up an inch or 2 to be shot rock. Not going to get by the front one.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well.
Nibbled the 12-foot.
It looks like he's thinking about playing an intern freeze. Just try to get across the face a little bit. Very aggressive call too.
Yeah, I'll be honest though, from based on what I just told you, this doesn't surprise me at all. They will try to set up an angle, so that's why wants to get this frozen, dead frozen or to the inside, like you said. That'll give him a chance to get rid of that yellow later on in the end, and he still won't leave anything behind that's easy for Jordon McDonald to get rid of. They will play a lot of these types of shots, and even maybe 1 or 2 stones later than you'd think most teams might. It makes for an entertaining game to watch.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what he wanted.
Jordan discussing the options. Looked at the run back, red onto red.
Yeah, it's funny sometimes. Sometimes you have shot rock in there, but you're really not in good shape. It's like you're only just a half a shot away from looking at 2 or 3.
Yeah, well, and I don't think he's even got shot rock. I think the red at the side of the forefoot that he's trying to run onto is shot right now.
Yeah, not anymore, but I think you were right.
Not anymore, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice shot, sorry, I forgot the name. You said the sub is
McCusker. It's called Kalen McCusker.
Kalen McCusker.
It's a good old Antigonish County name down in Scotia.
To write things down before I forget them all. Too many names over the course of the weekend.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of people, a lot of players.
Yeah. Well, and with what we're doing at this level, I'm always worried about mispronouncing the names. I've had a couple of the games with some of the Japanese teams, and they're such good players, and I know they've got a lot of viewers, and I have no idea for sure if I'm pronouncing their names right. I do the best I can, but I hope I haven't butchered anybody's name too bad.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I found some of the Canadian team names were a challenge for me because a lot of these teams I a lot of them I'm familiar with, but there's a whole lot of them that I'm not either, particularly on the ladies' side. I'm just not sure on some of the players. So
That's where it's good to have a player with the name Marsh. There's not much I can do wrong with that.
And even better if you can have two of them, because now you're just even less chance of getting it wrong. Well, it's a nice draw around there. It came in pretty far. It came a little bit further than they would have liked, probably.
Came into the port. That's the kind of curl we've had here all weekend long. Again, that's a little out wider, but they've curled like that all weekend long. The break point here at the Saville Centre has been nice and late, too, so you really don't have to skinny a guard to bury it because it's going to move big from the hog line in.
Yeah, it's nice to know that. It's nice to know when you go out another foot or something, you still get the same reaction that you get from that first spot.
Yeah, that's a good point. Again, haven't seen it that much this weekend.
This looks pretty good. And gets a roll.
McDonald sitting 2. Top 4 foot back button.
Yeah, this is going to change up McEwen's strategy here now. He pretty much has to run something back. Trying to remove at least one of those yellows.
Colton Flash on the out turn, looking for probably the nose hit on the yellow. Onto the red and the 8. He'll stick it on the one behind it.
Yeah.
Needs to curl up just a hair.
I'll be a little unlucky on that. I thought he'd get a better result than that.
Needed to curl up just a hair more. He ran the top yellow across the face of the red a little bit and spills out to the corner. Still leaves McDonald sitting 2.
Yeah, McEwen's got some work to do here to try to find a way to manufacture a deuce here at this point.
Well, we're playing another kind of run back some sort or another after this one's done. It's just remains to be seen. It probably depends where this rock ends up.
Well, exactly, yeah.
If you straight guard the yellow, he probably runs yellow over the top of the red into the pile. If you straight guard the red, he doesn't have to run the yellow back at all.
Yeah.
If it's me, I'd like to split center here.
That looks about where Jordon has the broom, maybe just off center, but very close to where you. Yeah, I feel like you would have liked to have taken maybe an inch of that red one away.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. If you don't split center, he's got the chance to play the red onto the yellow. Yeah. Even if he doesn't get the back one, he could stick this so that he's got second and third in the house. And now these red ones piling up, they make you a little nervous when you don't have last rock.
No, I think you're exactly right. Not quite sure why they weren't.
I don't think they considered that. He made the call very quick. I think that's a pretty good result. Yes, it's still McDonald sitting 1, but that red rock that stayed out front is available to run in on the angle. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how good this team is at angled runbacks. They don't mind playing those. You've seen Mike do it at the Briar. Longer runs than that.
Yeah, true enough. I think that it's they probably the one that's there is a little bit shouldn't be real concerning for McDonald other than the fact that they're sitting 2 and 3 because it's not really readily accessible. But the longer one is for sure. And definitely a shot that at this level is a pretty regular, not routine, but regular shot to make for sure.
Can't do much with that guard though. He's looking at playing the hit on what his third shot rock. He's going to have to roll into the rings.
Yeah.
Wants to be sitting 2 after this if he can.
Got to be careful when you keep throwing these guards out here because all of a sudden, you don't get one in the exact right place, and McEwen makes one real good shot, and you can't get at it because your guard's in the way.
Yeah, true. Well, he can't guard everything either. He can guard the run-in, but there's also a slash double on the yellows, the yellow that's just biting the 12-foot to the one at the back of the button, too, and that would still leave him sitting 2.
Yeah.
If you can't guard everything, then maybe hit this rock and roll in for second. That was his first inclination anyway. I think it was a good call.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad call either. It doesn't feel 100% right, but I think it's not bad. You're going to sit 1-2, and as long as you hang around, you can sit 1-2, and really, McEwen's going to have to make a real good shot to sit 1 by the time he's done. So
Yeah.
not a bad call at all. Just because, like you say, you can't take everything out front away, and
No, yeah. This is the way to eliminate that stone at the top of the 12 foot. Roll in to beat it.
Exactly.
Don't leave a double. So he wants to roll a foot. If he rolls 2 feet, he might leave a double on the run.
Yeah, has to be careful probably not to underthrow this shot. Just the way the draws are hooking in pretty good out there, you want to make sure you throw enough to keep it out there. Looks like that's not going to be an issue. They're trying to make it crow.
It's pretty close. Guess the hit rolls it across. This might have rolled a little too far, though.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
If Mike's inclined to play the run double's there now.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, you could do that. You could come off of that one.
That's the second one this end where I'm not 100% sure that the McDonald team, they could have benefited from maybe taking another second or two to look at where they wanted. The guard we talked about, maybe they could have overlapped the red stone. And even on that one, they were sweeping for curl.
Yeah.
And I think they rolled it a little too far. Now this shot still has to be made, but you didn't have to leave it.
Well, that's true. There's a big shot coming up.
Yeah. If he could make the run double, they'll both be at least partially buried. You're going to have a shot for 2 for sure, and might get with a bit of a mistake, might have a shot for 3.
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah. I don't know what he's looking at here. Looking at
Not sure where the shooter will end up.
went through that hole, maybe? Is that possible? He's looking at coming through the hole?
Well, he might be looking at it.
Now, I'll tell you what, it might be a bigger hole there than what it looks like from here, but it sure doesn't look like a big hole from here.
You got to throw the weight because it's a reverse stagger hole on a turn that curls. You got to take the curl out of it. Now, it is an out turn, and Mike has the ability to straighten his out turn a little bit, but you can't set it back either.
No, I think it's. I'm a bit surprised because I think that if this one ever curls an inch and ticks your red one in the front, then you're going to be in big trouble on the next shot. Whereas if you play that outside one, you usually can count on them making contact by playing that ankle raise run back. And I don't know.
If this ticks either guard, he's in trouble.
Yeah. Well, we've seen him make lots of these over the years for sure. And when he had his run back a few years ago, where it just seemed to be unbeatable for a while. Made everything.
Mike McEwen with his first here in the second end, trying to negotiate a very tiny port to make a double at the back of the house.
It's close.
It's real close.
Wow.
That was a giant hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of room.
Yeah. He could have drove one of those tractors they were test driving there with that hole. Well, that was a heck of a shot, I got to tell you. There wasn't a lot of room there. Made everything.
Mike McEwen with his first here in the second end, trying to negotiate a very tiny port to make a double at the back of the house.
It's close.
It's real close.
Wow.
That was a giant hole.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to let the third call the line on the inside guard and the skip calls the line on the outside guard.
Yeah.
If you're both calling.
Know that? Yeah. Well, for 100 years, it seems I've never even thought of that. Playing a little tap here?
Yeah, he is. This aggressive call.
It is.
Important to tap it on the straight side of straight back, because if you tap it on the angle, if you tap this towards the button, that angle raise on the red stone, the red guard is still there.
Yeah.
You want to kind of tap it straight back so that red stone at the top of the 12-foot's in the way.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Just can't let it over curl because you definitely can't tap it on the inside.
No, yeah. If Mike has to run the yellow onto the yellow to try to score 2, that's a whole lot better than giving the angle run in on the red for 3.
Yeah. This looks pretty good, I think. Shouldn't over curl. Maybe a little heavy.
How far?
Oh, wow.
They did not communicate that very well. I think they were sweeping for line, but it's got to slow down.
Yeah, you had to. Yeah, you're right about the communication on that one. That just wasn't there because, you could sweep that really hard and hit just a quarter of it, and you may not go exactly where you want, but it's going to be a lot better.
Well, yeah, there is that. I think they were sweeping for line anyway. He was worried about over curling. McEwen's got to make a decision. What do you think, Jim? If he comes to the front of his own stone at the top of the 12, does his shooter beat the one at the back?
I think it does by the angle we have. It looks like the angle is maybe just a little tiny bit skewed, not quite exactly over that, but it's pretty darn close. Yeah. So I think he will. I think
at the very least, if you're coming in, once you're by the outside guard, they can always pound it, because if he's a little thin on the red, if he rolls in at all, he should be 3.
No, definitely, yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think if he comes right to the face of his own, I think he's 3. They must think so too, because they could try to come wide, or they could even draw to the corner.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's funny, a lot of times we just don't think of those options. You just automatically figure you got to go to the center, and all of a sudden you say, well, you know what, we could have done this.
Well, it's the more, certainly the more comfortable draw for the skip if it's there. So much of the game nowadays, when they have the draw to the button for hammer, they practice this shot so many times. So there's a comfort factor that goes there. Mike McEwen with his final stone, sitting 2, needs to draw through a port, come to the face of his own stone.
Pretty hard.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to spill off it, I don't think. Well, maybe just a little bit. It's in far enough.
Yeah.
Mike McEwen gives up 2 in the first end, but comes back with 3 of his own in the second. We've got a barn burner here through 2 ends. McEwen up 3-2. McDonald will have last rock in the third.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life, when I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Even if this is his first year.
Yeah.
Three to 2 for Mike McEwen over Jordon McDonald. I think we had the right names on the scoreboard up until now.
Yeah. couple pretty exciting ends for the first two ends.
Jim and I were talking in the commercial break, trying to decide for sure if this young team out of Manitoba is out of juniors. They've got two of them listed at 20. Jordon McDonald listed at 21 himself, and of course they've got a sub here. You think he's got a year or two of juniors left. Something that occurred to me is that that would mean that the room that Mike McEwen throws with is older than any of the players on the other team.
Yeah.
Might not be the first time I've been able to use that joke this weekend too.
Well, that's good.
Apologies to Brent Pierce,
Yeah.
if he's heard about it.
He might be one of the few guys who would be playing here that it isn't older than. So we're going around the corner here. Looks like they are.
Yeah.
One thing I've seen this week in the games I've done, I've been surprised how quickly some teams have chosen to go in around the corner and not have a second corner or a double corner, whatever way you like to play it. I've been a little bit surprised how quickly they are going around that guard.
Yeah, I would have to say I'm probably not. I mean, I've played on the tour fairly recently, and you see it even a little bit under the 5 rock, and I do see a lot of these teams, they don't want to play it too aggressively. You know, you like to keep one side open or the other until you start to get down, and then you'll see them throw the second corner guard. And where I find it interesting, when you get into those situations where they have to play two corner guards, I like to see which teams like to play, because there's two ways to do it. I've seen a number of teams nowadays play their two corners on the same side.
Yeah.
They play a long one and a tight one, same as they do in the center. And it's just so that they don't block both paths, the draw path to the button. So I always find it interesting to see which way the teams are gonna go about it when they get to the point where they need two guards. Most of them, I think, would like to tell you, we don't want to ever be so desperate we need two corner guards.
Yeah.
It's usually something they don't do until the score starts to get a little lopsided on them. Fifth rock of the end here, and Kevin Marsh going to make an attempt to come on the wide side, go after that Yellowstone in the rings. Quiet wait here. You have to be a little bit careful. The guard is still in the free guard zone. With that weight, they shouldn't have to worry about killing it even if they did rub. Nice line by the guard.
Could be enough to get it out, is it?
I'll let you know when it stops moving. I wasn't prepared to make the guess. Does hang on to the back of the 12-foot. Even with that quiet weight, the shooter bounced out a little bit further into the open. There might be room to get to the nose or even the inside now.
Yeah. Nose would be good here for sure.
Yeah.
He'd take a nose.
And whereas Mike McEwen really would have liked to get that stone out the back, it's not as important here for Jordon McDonald. He's got last rock here if he leaves us in the back 12-foot on the corner. Won't upset him. Rocks in play on the corner. Only good for him.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's got a real nice line coming in. Might roll under.
That's a great shot.
Kevin Marsh will have another chance at it. Needs to throw a little bit more weight this time. Now, if you hit it close to the same angle with, say, hack, you might be able to make the double. You only have to just touch the other one on the way by. Well, they're sweeping for curl early, though. It's coming. It's close.
I have a chance, yeah.
Does he have the weight? Just drives it by the stone. Would have had the weight if he would have made contact.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I didn't when you first said it. I was thinking, I don't know if he can throw it that hard enough to make it and still hit it in the right place, but he certainly could have. Like you say, it would have been a delicate takeout, delicate double, but just the same, it would have been.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't change the shot. You're playing the same shot you played on the first one. If you happen to just touch it on the way by, that's a bonus. Just went over the top, though. Gives Jordon the chance to use the corner guard.
It must be a little bit heavy.
With that amount of curl, it's liable to come out in the open too.
Yeah, and might not even stay yet. Oh, it did stay. Yeah, I won't be happy with that though. That was a good opportunity to get one in somewhere above the tee line, fully buried, be in really good shape, and kind of let McEwen off the hook a little bit here.
So you were speculating that Jordon McDonald might know for Kalen from somewhere in juniors. Of course, part of the conversation could have been, well, we wear blue and black jackets. Who do we know from Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
Because he showed up in the team colors.
Yeah. And I don't even know what that jacket is that he's wearing, so it's kind of interesting to say. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where they would have met. I don't like say
that would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. So we got a little bit of a roll there, Mike's, and Jordan's gonna ask his third to come down now and just kind of bump that back. Playing around the back of the 12-foot, never necessarily a real fun place to play if you're trying to build it in. But,
I thought he might play the same draw, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just come around the corner. Third for the McDonald team is Dallas Burgess. And they're sweeping for curl.
This one's got to curl a ways yet. That'll work. Good sweeping job there. That one had to move over pretty good. A lot of variety in the shot calling this.
Yeah, but this is not a bad shot. It's a good shot.
Yeah.
It's just because they're making it look easy doesn't mean this is an easy shot.
Exactly, yeah.
Touches it through one more time.
Eventually that rock will get up far enough there won't be so much room to get by and hit in the inside or even on the nose, but you might run out of rocks before that happens.
If he does it one more time, the double might be available again. It'll be high enough to perhaps play the one yellow towards the other. Okay, get your bets in now. Did he make the shot?
I'm going to say yes. Nobody looked terribly disappointed, but nobody looked real excited, so it's a little bit hard to tell.
Apologize one more time. We have had some slight issues with the one camera. There we go. Mike's going to think it over. So I think there's two things he's thinking about now. With the number of hits that they've exchanged, that rock has crept up to the tee line. He's got the double available, same shot. That looks like that's what he's going to go for. When he stood back, I think the other thing in his mind was, you could come through the middle now, freeze to that stone. Jordon couldn't freeze to it again if he shot rock.
Yeah, I just don't really see him.
Yeah, that's kind of a risky call when you don't have last rock.
Yeah, if you take too much of a run at the double here, and if you ever lose a shooter, then you're leaving Jordon a chance to pick and choose where he wants to go, and he might be able to put you in a little bit more trouble than you're in. But
perhaps,
I'm thinking he's playing the same shot there.
Yeah, could be either or.
Yeah, for sure.
He'd love to get the inside roll, but everybody for the last 3 or 4 has wanted the inside roll. They get to the nose, and it just seems to stop after that.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, the rock is getting further out, so there's less opportunity for it to curl too. So
And they've got the inside sweeper down this time. Now, as soon as they're sure it's by, switching up the brush to try to get the extra curl. And even again, came tighter by the guard and just couldn't get the finish to get the roll under cover, which starts to make it a little scarier for Jordon playing this. There's the chance to jam it.
yeah, true enough. I think if he does make this, you might see McEwen take a run at the double, figuring he's gonna, when I say it doesn't roll inside, because that doesn't seem to be completely possible. So
yeah, I agree.
Have a ton of ice here, so he must be gonna throw not real takeout weight, but must be throwing enough to get to the hack or get to the board.
Brusher's just cleaning. Now the inside brush called on. That's a line call. As soon as they're by, they'll switch it up. Actually rolls ever so slightly to the outside, and that's going to give Mike two choices. He's got, like you said, the double, but with that little roll to the outside, he, I think, can get to the inside now.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that's definitely possible, and might be the way to go.
That's a couple in a row, one for each team that, they came by the guard nice and tight, and they switched the sweep and still really couldn't get the finish. It seems to come up to a certain point and then almost look like it stopped. Tricky spot. Could make an attempt to hit and roll a little difficult too.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're not sure you make the roll, then I think you just go ahead and try to throw the double.
Could throw the double with quiet weight. You could almost get both. Not the roll behind the yellow, but the roll behind the red.
Yeah.
You don't really have to change the shot a whole lot. You might want to throw, let's call what they've been throwing about hack. You might want to throw a bumper.
Yeah, it certainly looks like they're looking hard at the double at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to look at it to know where it is, just even if that's not the shot you're necessarily playing right out of the hand.
Well, with where he put the broom, I think he's throwing weight here at the double.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
The angle for the double's not bad, and he can see the whole yellow stone. That's always a little more comfortable when you're the thrower too. You're only shooting for about 2/3 of it, but you can see it all. It's a little more comfortable to go after a shot like this.
He's taking. It looks like he's just trying to take a hair more ice, which I'd be happier with if I was holding the broom. That looked like pretty tight. It looked to me like he was going to have to throw it really hard to get it to stay right there because he couldn't afford it to even move an inch. Let's see how it goes. He'll be close, I'm sure.
So final stone for Mike McEwen here in the third. Without last rock, looking for the double. It's close. It's going that direction. It'll have to go. I was going to say it had to go over the top, but it actually dead stuffs where it is.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. I don't think he threw it quite as good as he'd hoped to throw it, and just was out that little bit too far, I guess.
Yeah, well, they must have been trying to hit it off the other side because they could have called the brush on and gone over the top instead of dead jamming it. And I think they must have been trying to get it a broom side on the second one.
That's certainly rarity to see that many shots played in one end in the same spot in an attempt to get the deuce and prevent a deuce. So that's amazing. Big shot here for Jordon McDonald, though. Open draw. You need to make this one after setting it up the whole end.
Just needs anywhere in the rings to pick up his deuce here. Last rock has been dangerous so far in this final.
He's good, but he sure didn't give himself very much room to work with.
Yeah, I don't know that he needed to bury it, but he does.
Yeah.
Good job by the Brushers to get it by. Pulls it into the button, does pick up his 2 points. 4-3 for Jordon McDonald after 3 ends of play. Mike McEwen will have last rock in this Saville Shootout men's final. We'll have it for you right after this.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brewing in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
4-3 after 3 ends of play. Jordon McDonald with the lead over Mike McEwen in the men's final of the Saville Shootout. Shawn Joyce with Jim Nix. Happy to be here to bring this final to you. Had quite the exciting game so far. A lot of rocks in play, a lot of great shooting. No reason to expect it not to continue for the next 5. And interesting because Mike McEwen this morning started off with 2 blank ends in the quarterfinals. I had Jordan's game this afternoon started off with 2 blank ends in the semifinal. Doesn't look like we're going to have any blank ends here in the final.
No, I think you might be right on that.
They're playing with rocks in play. First stone of this 4th end was the one thrown to the top of the 4-foot. Corner guard went up, and this is the 2nd time going this direction. Again, I don't know if they got the corner guard as far off the center line as they might have liked.
Yeah, it's almost the same as the last time.
Almost, yeah. Maybe an inch or 2 further over, but it's still protecting a piece of the 4-foot. I think Mike's first thought was, well, we went around it on the wide side 2 ends ago, and it seemed to work out okay. We got 3.
Yeah.
This time, though, I think they can see probably about half of that yellow stone, so they're going to try to come down to it. Don't think they're looking to move it yet now with that amount of ice. Just get a good freeze on it, set up the angle.
Yeah, there's probably not much benefit in moving it right now because.
No. Well, they're so good at the angles. I keep repeating it, but they're so good at the angles. They just want to leave something in a spot where they can place something onto it later on.
That's a really good shot.
Yeah, because it's left itself on that angle, and if you had to run the red onto the yellow, you could stick 2 reds in the rings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the substitute, Caleb McIsaac, looking to come down, sit on the corner of the red. Haven't seen an overhead yet. I'm not sure how close those 2 are together. If they're touching, he might like to break them up a little bit. Got to get the line first.
Yeah, I think they've got to be really close. We'll see it here in a minute.
Looks like it.
Sure look like they're just about frozen.
Got to hit it just a hair on the broom side, tap the 2nd yellow back. Just enough to break it up. That's a pretty good shot.
Yeah, I think that's a real good shot.
100% sure that it clears the yellow, but it looks like it does.
Oh, the red one in the middle, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would. Looks to me like it would, anyways.
I think so too.
Yeah, coming from that side, if it's gonna drag at all, it's gonna drag it a little bit away from the one on the top of the 4.
And that's all they were looking to do. Just break that freeze enough so that you have a way to get the red out without losing your yellow. Mission accomplished. Not that you expected that's necessarily the way the end is going to go. We're going to see both teams move some rocks around. Well, this surprises me. Mike McEwen just going to make a play on shot rock right now. Just pick it out. So now I'm really positive that red clears the yellow.
Yeah.
He's decided the angles in the house aren't very good.
Curl a little bit.
Got the big weight there, so even that thin piece enough to drive it through the side, out of play.
Looks like the women's game has a squeaker going as well. Let's see the scoreboard up for that game there. It's 3-3 and whatever end that is in the 4th end. 2 Japanese teams. The Asian women's team certainly put on a show here this week. They're 4 out of 8 came, and 4 of 8 made the playoffs. So what do you do now? McDonald.
Well, his first thought seemed to be to come right around everything on the intern side. The other option is the run back. That's what they're looking at now.
I think with the 1-point lead, I think I like the shot.
I don't hate it. My only concern with this is if you run it straight back, you leave your center guard, and the top yellow, the one that you're running with the second stone, is going to pop out into the open a little bit more.
Yeah, great.
Boy, you sure don't want to over curl the first one. You might just pick the yellow out. Good job by the brushers to hold that. It does pop that one yellow out into the open. Gives Mike a rock he could come off of. The only way you could avoid popping that out in the open like that was to run it a little bit across the face, and then you might roll off the center line. That's not great either.
Yeah.
You saw Mike indicate he's not looking to roll behind the 2 yellows. He wants to roll right over behind the reds. Because, of course, if he's behind the 2 yellows, the first raise is fairly long, but you could run yellow onto red, and the yellow, red, and the house won't be that far apart. He's close.
Roll somewhere. I think he's going to roll way over.
That was the call, to roll over in behind the red one.
Yeah.
Shot rock belongs to Mike McEwen, corner of the 4-foot behind a red corner guard.
Probably get to that red rock on the out turn. I just don't know if it would do you a lot of good. Unless you just played a straight, just a freeze or just a back tee line kind of weight. Just looking at the intern come around.
Both brushers on it. It's going to look like it's got lots of room, but right about there is where they start to move, coming in towards the middle.
You get a little rub there, but still fully bury it. That's a heck of a shot.
It must have got by.
Yeah.
If it touched it at all, it touched the back end of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like it. I thought it touched it a little bit, but
It kind of looked like that, but it didn't even straighten it at all.
Yeah.
That's what the ice has been like all week, though, and it's been a treat to watch. I mean, you see a rock coming by and you think, oh, that's got a ton of room. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
At the hog line, that looked like it had a ton of room. No, it doesn't.
No, I mean, it only went by the, even if it touched or didn't touch, whichever, it's only went, 3.5 feet past that top rock, and it's fully behind it. So that's a pretty nice curl. I think I think these guys have to play a run back here and try to open this up a little bit.
I think so. Maybe the only discussion here was, are we trying to get all three of them, or do we just make sure the top two and try to hold the shooter on the corner?
Yeah.
I think he's going after all three with this weight.
It's got a curl.
Yeah, that's not the way you wanted to miss it.
No.
It had to be just that much on the other side.
Yeah, you could almost see that happening all the way down the sheet. You're just thinking this thing could jam by the time it's all done.
I think so. Maybe the only discussion here was, are we trying to get all three of them, or do we just make sure the top two and try to hold the shooter on the corner? It might have been just a little bit inside on after all three, more on the outer half of that stone, and
it's got a curl.
You just couldn't miss it the way you wanted to hit it. That much on the room side of the center. Had to be just that much on the, and you're okay.
Yeah. Your saving grace, I guess, is you have a couple out there that you can work with, but you only have 3 rocks left to come in the end too, so that's the bigger problem.
Both brushers jumped this one right out of his hand.
There you go, really hard.
Away a little bit now. They were only looking for 12 foot. Managed to bring it all the way into the top of the 8. Donald sits 3.
Well, I think you got to make this one.
Interesting that he went to the other turn here. Pretty much the same shot. Gets a better result this time. Kills 2 and rolls the shooter off the center line.
Yeah, for sure. Not 100% out of trouble, but it looks a whole lot better if you're McEwen than it did a minute ago. So I think it's a good shot by Flash.
Did slightly overlap the 2 reds. I don't know if he's got a run yet available on the tighter of the 2 guards. Maybe just see enough of it.
Yeah.
Maybe can't. It's hard to know for us. They'll let us know by which one he's looking at if he has to play it. Straight guard here for Jordon McDonald. How tight do you want this, Jim?
Well, I just got to see where the rocks are again. I'm thinking just past the top high red one, like probably 3 feet in front of the rings.
Yeah, I think if he's got to run at all, it's only that longer red one. So yeah, you're right. 3 feet in front is probably good enough. As long as he cuts over to split the center, this is a long ways out yet.
I'm gonna say he's got to curl some. We know McEwen likes to go through those little tiny weeny holes.
That probably takes away the run anyway, the red run. I mean, if he plays a yellow, that won't upset Jordan that much.
I think you're right. I think in a perfect world, maybe touch shorter than that just to make this double a little bit tougher if he decided to go this way, but that's not bad. Because if he makes it, he probably doesn't roll on the rings. It might be a possibility. I can't really tell. It might be possible to roll into the edge of the foot out there. I don't think so, though.
I don't think so. I think it's far enough up he can't roll in. And he cut off the run back into the stone at the top of to run a red into the top of the shot rock.
So for McDonald, the worst case scenario is he probably ends up with a come around that high red one. So it's still pretty good shape if you're McDonald. I like that. His situation is much better than Mike's situation right at the moment.
It is.
But McEwen has to focus on making this double because he has to get out of this mess a little bit.
Makes the hit, but just touches the stone at the top of the 4 foot. Pushes it over, believes it's still mostly buried.
Well, and yeah, like Jordon looked like, I'm not really sure where he's going to go here. I thought he looked maybe just tapped just the top of the 12 foot.
Yeah, he's going to come into the rings. As long as you bury a sliver of it, well, yeah maybe 2 or 3 inches just so that he can't play the double.
Yeah.
You'd hate to leave him a double for the blank now that it looks like you've got a chance to force. You get a good one in there and force Mike McEwen to draw. He doesn't have a lot of real estate.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if you can get the line right here and come basically right in to almost bite the top of the 4 foot and not leave any kind of a double there, then you're going to force McEwen to maybe draw against 2 and have to get the pin to a piece of the pin or a piece of the button at least to score. See where he goes.
Rushers had picked it up early, which usually indicates I think it needs to go, and then they switch right away, which usually means the third says it needs to curl.
Well, that's pretty much what they called for.
Just bite the top of the 12 foot, and I think with that amount of separation, when he can't see all of it, I don't think there's a double there. But Mike's not even going to look at it.
Yeah.
Got to draw to the pin.
Yep. Well, certainly a safer shot by McDonald there than if he had gotten a little bit heavy and went in and set up possibly a double. So probably the safer of the 2 options, but I just felt if he could get in there another 3 feet, and you might as well make him draw against 2 rather than 1.
Well, I understand that. He is drawing against 2. It's just you don't expect him. I know what you mean. You don't expect him to be giving up a steal at 2 on this one.
Exactly, yeah.
When that was only biting the 12 foot.
Big shot here though to tie this one up going to halftime. So he needs a piece of the button.
Rushers will give you an idea right away. They're just cleaning. That's usually an indication they think the weight's close. Now they pick it up a bit at the halfway point and back away again, off and on. Needs a solid piece of the button. Will touch the edge of that yellow stone and does stop full back button.
That's a great shot.
Good judge by the brushers too. It's just as easily to oversweep a rock like that as it is to undersweep. Puts it right on the tee line, gets his single point. We're all tied up after 4 ends. Jordon McDonald will have last rock when we come back for the 5th.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Eat through everything. 4 ends complete here in this men's final. All tied at 4 apiece. Jordon McDonald will have last rock in the 5th. The team's still in the 4th end break right now.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
Shawn, Joyce, Jim Nix with you here live from the Saville Community Sports Center. It's the final of the Saville Shootout. We've got the men's final. The women's on next door. You'll find that on the Curling Stadium Edmonton YouTube stream as well. If you've been with us all weekend, you've been able to see every single rock of, well, just about every single rock. Had a few camera issues. Almost every single rock of every single game. Hey, it's the first event of the year for us too. Center guard thrown up to start this end. We've had a couple of ends going back towards the home end. The McEwen team throwing the corner guards where they've gotten a little tight to center. This one's quite wide, just out in the 12-foot. Lead for the McEwen team is Daniel Marsh, with that handicap of having his heel on the ice. The only guy on the team, that's why they make him play lead.
Yeah.
And by the way I phrased it, you probably have already figured out I'm a tuck delivery guy myself. Comes around, corner of the button, shot rock, behind cover. Cameron Olofsson being asked to come down to the face of that stone. I've talked at length about the McEwen team liking the angles and like to play those angles and save up for those shots. Well, the McDonald team is shown to be very good at these runbacks as well, so they'd love to get something locked on now. This one comes up a little short over curls. Didn't get the angle they would have liked there. Kevin Marsh being asked to come down, sit on the corner of the yellow. You can corner freeze this Yellowstone. These two rocks at the top of the 8 foot essentially work as an overlapped guard, but this is going to have to curl. Maybe slow down. You don't really want to chap off it. Pretty good. Stays hooked over it just a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Oh, we might see the run back here.
Yeah, you might. Yeah.
If you're right on the nose of the red, Jim, do you get all 3 reds? It's close, wouldn't it be?
It'd be really close. Yeah, I'm not sure that top red will clear the yellow.
Well, that's what I'm saying on the nose. See, the first one you're running back has to hit just a little bit on the side of the red that Jordan's standing on now. They're so good at them. I thought he might give it a go. Gonna look to tap up the yellow first. He'd like to get the angle he was looking for on the last shot, where he gets the yellow corner frozen on that red in the 4 foot. They were on the brush all the way down here. Looked like Mike was getting excited, but that's the 6th stone at the end, so it's legal to do that now.
Yeah.
He looked like he was getting ready to run up there and sweep it off the center line.
Yeah.
If you're Mike McEwen, right now, this end is setting up very well for you. Where do you put the next one? Where do you put one here where you don't give him something?
Well, I kind of like this call. He just has to make sure he gets to a position where he can't, set up that double that we were talking about a minute ago. So as long as he doesn't go over the top at all or move it too much, then he should be okay.
Wants to angle the 2 reds onto the yellow. I was thinking it's hard to throw a straight guard here because it's hard not to leave a double peel if you do that.
Oh, yeah. So we're working hard to get this one over.
His line's okay. It's actually dangerously close to over curling. I mean, they got the corner of it under, but I think they lined it up to go by the yellow. I'm not sure why they were trying to get it to curl that hard. Thought the point there was to leave it angled towards the yellow. Might drag if he's going to go after directly. I thought he might play the run into the reds.
Yeah, I thought he might play the run here too. I think that's what I'd be more inclined to play than this. This is
well, and they're so good at those runs too. But hitting it on this side, it's going to drag and might touch the yellow. Whereas the guard's on the other side. If you run it back, you might clear the yellow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe it's not lined up even with a drag because they are close together. You got to defer a little bit to the players on the ice. They can see the angles a little better than we can. Didn't want to hit it that thin. And it did drag into the yellow. Just kills the one, rolls the shooter out.
McEwen looking at playing just the
straight. Might have to play the straight guard now.
Can McDonald get around on the intern and play the tap on his and get shot rock?
He probably can. Would he play that on the third's first stone? Or does he try to clean something up? Because if you make that, I mean, he's not going to be able to make it with a lot of weight. You're not going to have a lot of room in the house to score more than one.
No, true enough.
Might depend where this guard ends up. Like if the guard comes tight enough that he could run the yellow guard over the top of the one that's about to be thrown and run it back into the reds, I think that's what he'll play. I think that's there. I think he plays yellow over the top of the red. Try to bring it back into the house.
So really hard.
You know, yeah. But keep in mind that they throw these so well too. But keep in mind, here's the other thing we haven't really talked about. This we're in the fifth end here. Jordan's got the hammer in a tie game. A blank end is great for him. He can get this coming back into the house and move one of those reds. The blank's in play. This is close.
That's great.
All kinds of rocks.
Yeah, and almost ended up behind the corner guard with his other one, but didn't quite work out that way. But I don't think you can complain about the results of that shot.
Nope. A blank end is great for him.
Let's see the replay.
He can get this coming back into the house and move one of those reds. The blank's in play. This is close.
That's great.
All kinds of rocks.
Probably about the best you can get out of that shot. I think he might have been hit it a hair thinner and got a little bit of a different action in the house, but I think at the end of the day, you're probably still going to leave something.
Yeah, I think you're pretty happy with that. There's probably a way where you got to hit it just perfect to get all the three reds, but
yeah,
you're getting pretty greedy if you feel like you needed that out of that shot. He's at the point now where he's one double away from a chance to blank the end.
Exactly, yeah.
So it really changes the outlook for Mike McEwen. They're not thinking steal anymore. They're trying to keep their rocks separated. You don't want to give them the chance to blank the fifth.
No, try to get that force.
This not going to get as far out as they would have liked. He's going to try to roll underneath. He's still thinking about scoring two here.
Yeah, I think the double's tough here. I think it's just...
I wouldn't play the double, but you could hit and roll in front of the red. You could also hit the other red and roll behind this one.
Yeah, that's an option, yeah.
Then you've probably got a double on the next one.
So if they're trying to make this curl a little bit.
I think they've gone to plan B now, tried to straighten it out. The plan B call was what I had looked at initially, try to roll in front of that red. It's not bad where it is. Even if it had rolled maybe 3-4 inches further, Mike wouldn't be able to try to go for the roll behind cover because he'd risk jamming it. He's probably got room still to roll behind the corner guard, I think, and miss the red one.
I think you're right. I don't think he's trying to roll behind the corner. It looked to me like...
Not dead behind, yeah.
Almost a nose or just off nose and roll a few inches to the left towards the corner, but not behind it.
Yeah, I think he'll want to roll a bit. If he stays right there, he leaves the slash double.
Yeah.
Now again, Jordan might not have played. He might play the other one and roll behind.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, he might force him to almost.
Little cat and mouse going on here. I was really surprised he tried to roll behind on that one. I thought, once you set up for a chance for the blank, it seemed like he kind of went back and forth with what he was playing there. He had set up the blank. Why weren't you still playing for it?
Well, yeah, because you roll behind. I mean, unless Mike completely blows his next shot or one of the next two shots, you're not going to have a chance.
You're
for two anyways.
Still going to be looking at two, yeah. And then you'll have to take one. Well, Mike gets the nose hit. Jordan is going to look at playing the hit and roll in behind cover. You want to roll past the red one, in behind your own yellow if you could.
Yeah, I think this is worth a go, though. It's about the only, you're going to be hard pressed to find a blank here unless you can make that slash double. And
You'd have to make the slash double, and then you're hoping that
they don't
Mike doesn't bury it. Yeah, he's going to try it. You just have to hope it doesn't bury.
Yeah.
Jordon McDonald with last rock here as we play in the 5th. Looking to hit shot rock and try to roll behind the corner. Got the hit.
Can you stay?
Is the hole big enough for Mike?
I think so.
He doesn't seem to need as much room as I would.
No. The only thing about this is you got to throw this down a little bit because it just doesn't curl real hard going to the outside, I don't think.
He could play the slash on the red too, and he doesn't have to overthrow it. You could throw it with bumper weight, slash onto the yellow, and roll your shooter into sit 2. That still gets you the force.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes the port, so he's going to play the slash. Does look like a pretty nice angle. You're hitting about half or maybe just a thick half, and anytime you're hitting that much of a rock, it's for these players at this level, that's a pretty comfortable hit.
Yeah, for sure. If you make it, you're probably staying, so.
Yeah, I don't expect he's whipping this down here.
No.
Mike McEwen with the quiet slash attempt. Looking to drive red onto yellow. And sit 2. Have the opportunity to force.
Must be close.
Sweepers have been off and on.
Yeah.
This looks real close.
Very nice.
Now you gotta take a look. Before they put the broom down, I think he's looking at the double. Let's put it this way: his 3rd was looking at the double. Whether or not Jordan is or not, that's a whole other ball game. But
yeah, the only problem with the double is you got to make it and roll out to make it worth it, right? So.
But before I said they were looking at that, what I thought they should be looking at slash attempt. Take one more look at Mike McEwen's last shot. I don't know that they ever walked over to look to see, can they hit this stone dead on the nose and be shot rock?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
It's close.
Yeah.
Oh, you're agreeing they didn't look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It looked like just before we went to the replay that Jordan was having a look at playing just the outturn nose hit on this rock. So
yeah.
Hopefully he looked at it close enough to be sure of that.
I didn't see anybody go look at the other rock. If he gets to the inside of it, he'll roll in. He'll be fine then for sure. They're going to have to go just to hold the line here. This is really curling on him. He's going to get a thin piece of that stone. I don't think he's going to remove it at all, and his shooter will go through the back. That is a steal of 2 out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's kind of a bit of disaster there for sure.
Don't know whether he just underthrew it or maybe didn't get all the way out to the stick. Regardless of how it happened, Mike McEwen picks up 2 points here in the 5th end. He'll take a 6-4 lead. McDonald will have last rock once again in the 6th.
Don't forget your brooms.
You got it.
Come on up. Okay, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Just a slight miscue from Jordon McDonald on his final stone, but when it comes on the final stone, it has a tendency to end up on the scoreboard. That's what happens. Mike McEwen with a steal of 2 before we went to the break. Jim, how do you bounce back from something like that? You've only got 3 rounds left to play. Like, you have to go now, and that can't feel good.
No, I think it's one of those ones that, they always talk about, well, you got to park things and all that kind of stuff. Mentally, you've got to, that's going to be the challenge here, is to, to get past that part, because you're down, obviously down a couple, but if you can score your 2 here, which he has had 2 2s already, tied up playing 7 with, that's not a bad scenario.
It's always a little easier with something like that. If you have a disaster like that happen in the first or second end, you can play a couple of fairly conservative ends, get your confidence back, and then go. He doesn't have time to do that now. He's got to go.
Oh, yeah, no question about that.
First stone brought into the rings. The second one, they call for the tight guard. They sweeping at the end to make sure they touch the center line. Did get it just back to the center. Cameron Olofsson had thrown the tight corner guard with his first one, and this goes back to what I was talking about with you earlier, Jim. I always find it interesting when a team gets down to where they have to play the 2 guards, and here's another of the teams that this has only come about in the last few years, where teams will throw both corner guards to the same side.
Yeah, and you had mentioned that most of the time is to make sure you at least have one way into the button if you need it. And that's a good thought. I thought also that some of the teams would do that just to prevent, so they would end up with the team peeling the top one and still leaving the back one, so you still have something to work with back there. But
yeah,
that works with split guards too. It's just you got to make sure you put them in the right place.
You got to make them even. Well, that's the issue here too, right? If you're going to play them on split house, you got to keep them even so they can't double. If you're going to play them like this, they got to be tight and long, and those 2 are pretty good. There's a lot of separation between those guards. Can't peel them yet anyway. This is just the 5th stone now. This is the kind of ice where that really matters, throwing the corner guards on the same side, because as we've watched all weekend long, the draws stay out there. Look at this one. It's out there, it's out there, it's out there. Right about here is where it'll start to move, and it moves big. Well, now if you're trying to draw to the button, and there's a corner guard out there, and it stays out there, stays out there, stays out there, you're in danger of hitting the corner guard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Jordon McDonald feeling he's going to have to peel something here.
Needs to open up the middle a little bit, so he's got some room to work with. This is the, I mean, as much as these guys are young players, this is the veteran move. I mentioned this in an earlier broadcast. A lot of times when players, even at my level, have to do this, the skip's got to look over his shoulder and make sure there's 5 rocks caught. He didn't have to count. He knew. He was ready to go. That's 5. We can hit this now.
Yeah.
I usually have to wait to see if my second call's down. Yeah, we can't hit that yet.
Yeah.
Got a good roll too, because he left staggered guard on the corners. And it kind of looks like it's angled towards the redstone, the top of the house. So Mike McEwen might not even be able to play a peel. Maybe just pick the one of them.
Yeah.
I don't think he could play the double. There's danger it comes back into the reds. He's looking at just throwing the guard then.
Yeah. And I think the reason is just what you pointed out. I think he's just afraid of that running back in there. And
yeah, they got a good bit of a break off the double peel to where they rolled.
Yeah.
Any overlap was nice because he wasn't going to be able to get all three of them. But I mean, if it's not lined up to go on the red, it's in that direction for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to think it is. Otherwise, I don't see McEwen not peeling that off.
Nothing out of the brushers. They don't want this in the rings. That stops in plenty of time. So used to seeing those brushers at least cleaning a rock when they haven't put a brush down on the ice. It makes you think it might be a little on the warm side. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Another attempt at the run back. Try to get both reds, roll off the center line.
Yeah, this is a big shot. You kind of need to make this pretty soon because it's going to become really difficult to do much with it. This looks good.
Get it the other way. Oh, just touches it.
Need to curl up just a hair. Just doing a little ice repair down there. A scratch or something on the ice.
Nothing like the scratch I saw in the last game. We had it was Carruthers against McDonald and Derek Samigalski, his sliding device, and I still am not 100% sure what happened. He did have to make some repairs, and I think he's got one of those steel sliders on his old corn broom, and I think it broke off while he was sliding. Left one heck of a scratch, and that was in the eighth end. Like, of all the worst times to do it, he's trying to throw a draw in the eighth end, and he had to give it a push because, of course, it slowed him right down.
Yeah.
And he ended up in the back 8 foot.
No. Looks like McDonald's thinking of raising his own here.
This is kind of an all or nothing shot. You gotta stick this one. Sweeping for curl from the moment he let go. Well, now you're in some trouble.
Yeah, I agree. This stand's just not going the way he needs it to go. They just need to make one big shot here somewhere in the last 3 or 4 or 3 probably, and just haven't made one of those yet.
Look where he's standing.
Yeah.
He's looking at yellow onto red.
Yeah.
And he might have to. I mean, if it's there, he might have to play it. Now, we saw him looking at that. I don't know whether Mike did.
Mike's going to try to take that away.
Going to try to take it away, yep.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think he's looking at the wide comer, and I'm not sure how that helps you. If that yellow onto red is there, and you draw where he just signaled, you're just lining it up for a raised double. They talked about the guard, and I think they stuck with that.
Yeah.
This has got some curling to do if it's going to get underneath those two yellows. Could stick with the overhead right after and have Mike stand up. There's a good look at it on the overhead view. Boy, it's close. It's in the neighborhood, right? It depends where you hit the first one. There's a little bit of separation between the two.
Yeah.
Looking at the red double peel over the top, try to bring it back and kill shot stone.
Time to make a big one.
Yeah. Makes the run, catches the second one. Comes across, kills the tight yellow corner. Does open up shot rock.
So McEwen played straight guard again.
Yeah.
I still think the double yellows line up for you over there, but you gotta. It's
They
gotta
do. Yeah, with that amount of separation between them, it just depends where you hit it. I think he's probably coming around after this, to be honest.
After this shot? Or
Jordon,
no?
yeah, I think he's got to come around those four rocks. But Mike doesn't have a choice. He's got to guard shot stone. You can't leave him to hit and roll.
Yeah.
We'll find out in a minute. He did look at that yellow onto the red. I think he would have been looking at playing it on the third's last stone, though. I don't think he's going to play it on Skip's first.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he might look at that the last time, but no, the shot he played was good. If he just had to get maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, where they left the guard, they left him the shot to get all three reds. He just didn't hit it right.
Yeah.
He had a chance. Well, you don't end up with this one in the rings. You give him a chance to double and roll.
Yeah. Not thrilled with that one.
He might be okay. It's awful hard to get the double and the roll because you're either hitting the first one very close to the nose to catch the second one on the center line side, or you're going over the top and it's hard to hold the shooter.
Yeah, that's the big problem right now. Is I think that's the way you want to play it if you can play it.
I think I'm still playing the draw, and that's what he's looking at.
Okay. Well, he called them all here. We just don't.
Yeah. You got to pick one, Jordan.
Yeah.
You know, he could play red onto red and just try to stuff it. More important to get the roll behind the corner. You expect Mike McEwen to try to guard it again, and then does he play that long double race? As long as he gets the shooter into the rings on this one?
Yeah, he might. I'm not totally convinced that Mike would play if you hit this and
the straight guard, if you're in the rings, yeah.
Puts it in the ring somewhere, sit 2, and probably forces you to 1. So,
where does he put it where he doesn't leave a double?
Well, no, I know that's the other part of it, but
because he can't really get to the other side of the sheet. The guards are all in the way unless he's going to try to come around, and then you've got the in off.
Yeah, I guess you'll figure out after this one.
Looks like he's playing the hit and roll with that broom.
I think he is. I think that's the call.
So you're with me. He's playing the roll first. He's not trying the double at all. Just stuff it and roll behind. Yeah, I think so. Certainly with that weight. Boy, this one's really curling on him as well. He had a rock over curl last end. Maybe a little on the quiet side for trying to make a hit and roll too.
That is very, very light. I don't know what.
You have to kill one of those red stones if you're playing that shot.
Yeah. It's a couple probably underthrows in a row. I think that's a big mistake, that one. I mean, you're throwing a hit there. At the end of the day, you're still throwing a lightweight hit, but a hit. The hit's something. If you hit half the rock, it's going to go out. It's going to have a tough time now.
I'm a little surprised that Mike's looking at guarding this.
Me too. I think you just come around those rocks over there and you're sitting three.
You come in and sit three. He can't. He's got no shot for a triple.
No.
To guard the double, you're still leaving him a shot to come to the back one and get his single. So you're really not making his shot any harder. That's an aggressive call, but yeah, if you can come right in and overlap the two reds at the top of the house, then you kind of take away the path to the back one.
Yeah, true enough.
But you're flirting with leaving a triple if you come in too deep.
Yeah, I think the goal here really should just be to force McDonald to take one. And you can do that pretty easily by just throwing another rock in the 4-foot on the left-hand side or so. Almost anywhere on the left side. To sit three, triple's not going to really be there.
Even if you just draw to the center line, split the center.
Yeah.
How does he score?
Yeah.
There's no triple. There might not even be a draw path.
Yeah. Yeah.
My concern here would be just as long as he overlaps the top two reds, he should be okay. But if he ever ends up beside it, you could leave a triple.
See where he actually wants us to end up.
It's got a curl. It's still on the outside of that redstone in the 8-foot. Line's getting closer. Has to cross it just a little bit. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's real good. But we made it a lot harder than it was, I guess. So George's going to have to make this one to stay in it.
Doesn't need to take much off the weight he threw on the last one.
I know. I didn't want to say it, but that was him. Yeah.
I've been known to be a sarcastic. And you can pick the word that goes after that.
Yeah. Oh no, I think that's fair.
Can't say it on the air, but you could. There's several words that'll fit there.
Yeah. Now hopefully I'll make this one and stay in the game and still have a shot at pulling this thing out.
Pressure's down early, but it doesn't look like that's a heavy sweep. Just a firm clean. That's a good sign. We'll try to put this right on the tee line for him. Line's good. Weight looks like it's really close.
Yeah, very nice.
Pulls it into the corner of the 4-foot. Maybe bit the button even. Put a single point on the board for Jordon McDonald in the 6th end. He now trails by a score of 6-5. Mike McEwen will have last rock in the 7th.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss. But it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. when I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Saville Shootout presented by Curling Stadium Edmonton. You're watching the men's final. Mike McEwen with a 6-5 lead over Jordon McDonald as we begin play here in the 7th end. Is McEwen with last rock here as well. Shawn, Joyce, and Jim Nix. Been happy to be here to bring you all the action here in this men's final. It's been an outstanding event in total, but the 3 playoff games today, and deservedly so when you've got the 8 teams that qualified to be here. We've had some great games today. Another one here. These 2 teams met at the last game of the round robin. It was McDonald coming out with the win there. He's got some work to do if he's going to repeat that.
So if you're McDonald here, do you go flat out, full out to try to score in this end, or do you just keep in the back of the mind that, you know, if we can get it through this with just giving up a 1, get hammer in the last end, that might not be bad either.
I'm going to go somewhere in between. I'm going to hedge my bet there. I'm going to say that what he doesn't want to see here is a blank end, and that's why you see 2 center guards to start the end. He is not going to let Mike McEwen blank this end.
No.
He'd be okay with a steal. He'd be okay with a force. If he forces him to 1. Now, here's the unfortunate downside to this, and this goes back to me being sarcastic, but I've been doing this for 12 years, and I say this every once in a while. Sometimes when you're really determined to force your opposition, you force him to 3, and that's not what you it's not what you had in mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it happens. It happens all the time. You got to take a few chances here if you're Jordon McDonald, and if something goes wrong, and we've seen it already in this game. One little miscue and it's a big swing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think that the way the rules are nowadays and everything else, I think that you have to start this end with the mindset that you're going to try to steal, going hard to try to steal. And, you know, if something changes that in 3 or 4 rocks, then so be it. But I don't know how you do it any other way, because it's really hard to kind of...
Yeah. No, I agree. You have to play it like a steal the whole way, because you can't afford a blank end. You know, you're 1 down without coming home. I haven't seen the percentages, but I think you're losing that game probably 80% of the time.
Yeah, I think you're probably right at this level. That would be a very good guess.
Even if you steal here, you're tied up coming home. The percentages are against you, but in the 5-rock free guard zone with the no-tick rule, it's getting a lot closer to 50-50 than it's ever been in the past.
Yeah.
We're going to come down and sit on the corner of that redstone. This is close. The line's great.
That's a nice shot. That was a good sweeping job by the inside sweeper there. It was he never lifted the whole entire way.
This is the 6th rock of the end. Those guards are no longer free. Kevin Marsh being asked to just make the single peel on the long guard. Probably have to replace it for a couple, just let them peel a couple more of them, but there is a double on the reds available at some point in time if you want to go after the steel that way.
Yeah, I think
play the run back on the yellows too.
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think you've got to get a guard out there a couple more times.
Yeah, you bring the play into the house too early, and it just gives McEwen too many chances to clean things up and maybe get to a blank situation.
Yeah,
it is always interesting to see the timing though. How long do you wait before you make the play in the house? Certainly, it'll probably be at least Well, he's got 2 shots in the middle, so I would think he's going to throw guards till at least skip stones. Might be his first one where he decides to make a move in the house.
Yeah, I think at the very earliest it'd be his third, second shot. But I'm with you. I think it might end up waiting right till his own stones.
Yeah. Well, because he's got 2 shots,
Yeah.
he could run either one of those rocks in and get a good result. So I think he can wait till his own stones.
Yeah.
Now, here's where the cat and mouse becomes interesting, because Mike McEwen knows that too.
Yeah.
And he might not peel the last one. If you throw one too many, he might decide to play something else. I don't know if he will in this situation, but
yeah,
it's a lot more fun to watch it than it is to play those things. It's a little more nerve-wracking to play them.
Yeah. So it's going to be just about where he wanted it.
Straight peel again. Shawn Joyce with Jim Nix, and apparently Finn, the Irish setter. He knows where I am, and he's looking for attention. And I'll tell you what, I don't mind him chiming in, but his strategy decisions leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah. Well, it's going to take care of the third stone, so that answers our question about when and if he's going to make a move. Well, he has to make a move at some point.
He has to make a move at some point. You're right. And he might have waited to his. Well, yeah, I thought they were playing the guard, but.
So, what do you think? He was trying to just corner freeze the yellow?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I don't think that's where he wanted to be, but it makes it for interesting options here. Take decided.
Does give Mike the chance to play a double, and that's what they're looking at. The guard over the top of the one that was just delivered. If you can kill 2 yellows,
yeah,
then it's a little tougher for Jordon to go after the steal, because you sure don't want to leave a double on the yellows. And that's what I just said. You could give up you're trying so hard to force, you could force him to 3.
Yeah. It doesn't look 100% committed yet. There he goes. Think about it, Flash won't take long to throw it once he puts the broom down.
Yeah, it'll get down to the other end in a hurry.
Yeah, and he doesn't waste time in the hack either. He's just gonna ready to go. It looked a little wide to me from where I am, but
he iced it for that. Like, he had the broom in the middle of the rock, so actually needed to be a little fuller still. He didn't get the action he was looking at. Wanted to drive that over the top, and by hitting it where he did, he's left yellow onto red. Actually helped McDonald. He's in better shape now than he was before that was thrown.
Yeah, I would agree. Just got to figure out, once you play this, whatever it is you're going to play, what's going to be your next shot, and what's Mike's next shot. I guess that's what the game's all about all the time. So
yeah.
We're going to play in the come around.
I think I'm hitting the red one at the top of the house and try to roll on top of the 2 yellows. I'm not worried about getting the red now. Just line the 3 yellows up.
Yeah.
And then, Mike can't really guard it because you can pick shot rock.
Yeah.
Can't just leave it for you because it's a pretty easy triple run back for teams that play them so well.
Yeah, and if you try to say, well, we can line one more up, the chances are, half.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
you're losing a couple at least. And probably
that's the shots that I like right there.
Yeah. Do you want to roll far enough to be able to see the red one out the back?
Yeah, well, if you just roll in front of the 2 yellows, you've done that. You want to line the 3 yellows up, I think, and then you can see the back one. Mike probably has to pick the one you're about to throw, doesn't he? He can't just leave you the 3 rock lineup.
No, I don't think he can do that. No.
He has to pick it out. You play the shot in the middle, and then you're sitting 3 in the rings. No matter how they line up, Mike probably has to try to score 1.
Yeah.
If you get a nice lineup in the house, you still got a chance to steal.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking now. I'm trying to figure out where and how to put these rocks that we can maybe steal a point instead of just forcing the 1.
The problem with drawing there cold is then Mike can slash the red into it, and at least 2 of the yellows leave because it's coming in from the side and it'll drag.
Yeah.
And he might get rid of all of them, to be honest. Even if you deadline them up, if he slashes that red in from that angle, they might all go.
Yeah, I think you're right. Anyway, he settled on your shot. I'm pretty sure. If he makes this, you still might see McEwen throw a big weight shot down there and just try to make sure he gets rid of at least 2 of those yellows and might leave it a little bit accessible.
Maybe.
I don't know what else he can do.
Well, yeah, all I'm seeing is to pick the top one out so that when Jordon has to play the yellow, red in the middle, he's going to have to leave his rocks grouped.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't roll as far as he might have liked.
No, I think he would have liked to roll another half a rock. Or even a rock.
That's what I was wondering if Mike might play if they didn't get the result they were looking for. Now he's looking at the in-turn draw to the side of the button. You'd have to be back half of the button because the yellow, red wouldn't touch this stone then. And he can't see enough. Like, if you roll over to line up the 3 yellows and Mike draws to the side of the button where he's tapping the ice right now, you could still see enough of that red on the other side to play the slash double. Well, you can't see that red now.
Yeah, that's right.
Needed to roll that. Another half a rock.
Yeah.
Would have been perfect. Still, this is a very precise draw that you forced Mike McEwen into.
Yeah.
He slides behind the tee line. You might have room to come down, sit in front of it, and get your steal that way. If he leaves it too high, the yellow, red is probably a double onto the one you're about to deliver. not playing to a very big piece of ice here.
No, I agree, but I think he does have a couple options here, and depending on where he ends up, I think it should still be a challenge for Jordon to be able to steal one here. I think he would be happy with this situation when the end started, figuring that this is a pretty good opportunity. Well, last time Mike had a draw, I think he put it right on the pin pretty much, so.
Yeah, he's had good weight, and he certainly trusts the brushers.
Yeah.
Line was good early.
I don't know if he's got enough weight, does he? Yeah, he must have.
He's close.
Oh, nice shot.
Slides to the back button, but he came so tight by those two yellows. I don't know that Jordon can follow it down and get to the inside, or at least to the nose where he'd have to be shot rock.
Yeah.
Do you ever play the triple on the Reds? That's somebody's looking at it.
Yeah.
I think that's just the lead, though. It doesn't count when count when the lead looks at that. He's never played a triple in his life.
Yeah.
There's only ever 2 rocks in play when he's throwing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you got to make one heck of a good shot here to not
You do. To not give up 3.
Yeah. I don't think you actually want to tap. Like, it looks like when they do that, I just wonder what they're thinking for weight when they kind of go tap and sit here. I don't think you really even want to. If you want to tap, you want to tap about an inch.
Yeah, and that might just be because they don't think they can get to the nose. If they want to be shot rock, they might have to move it an inch. But that's kind of the shot where you throw it to the tee line and you let the sweepers make the tap, because you can't tap unless your line's good.
Yeah. Definitely the biggest shot of the game so far.
Boy, it can't look good from the hacks. There's our view from the hacks. He can only see half of it. He's got to try to get right to the face.
Yeah.
There's only 2.5 feet of space between the rock and the 8, and that stone at the back of the 4.
Yeah.
Back of the button, really.
That's why sweepers are kind of getting on pretty quick. Oh, there we go. Back off.
Mike was out there for a while, and then right about here is where they've been starting to curl all week. This one's still running out there a little bit.
It's a pretty good effort. I don't know. He might be shot.
I don't think he's shot. I think he might be second.
Which one do you think shot? The one at the top?
The one at the back.
Oh, at the back. Okay. Yeah, that's what they look like. They're saying that too. And I'll tell you, that just had to curl one more inch, though, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, granted, they swept it a little bit differently than Mike's team swept Mike's, but it didn't come in as hard from the hog line in. Mike's curled plenty, and that one didn't seem like it curled quite the same.
Yeah. Good effort by Jordon McDonald, though. It's he's played a good game. He just threw what I would consider, for lack of a better term, 2 duds, really, and just kind of, other than those 2 shots, he seems to have been right on. He's had nice weight, and everything else has been good, but a couple of takeouts that just severely underthrew. At least I think the first one was underthrown. The second one was underthrown for sure. So we'll see what McEwen's going to do.
Looking at the out turn, come by and just touch that stone at the top of the button. He only needs to move it a couple of inches to sit 2.
Yeah.
Can't really. The issue is he can't really see it. He actually even talked about playing the yellow, yellow, red because they are lined up. The problem then is if it ever hung on you, you'd come onto the stone that Jordon just delivered and give up a steal. You don't have to even take that risk playing on this side.
Yeah.
This is basically a straight draw. He just needs to touch the stone because he doesn't have room to get by it to the button.
Yeah.
She's just cleaning early, waiting for a line call. Both picked it up. One head I see pop up, so they're still waiting on the line. That must mean they like the weight. And why wouldn't they like the weight? He taps it up. One for sure, and I think Mike was pretty sure he had shot rock at the back of the button. And I think I did see Dallas point at the red stone, so it's 2 points for Mike McEwen.
Well, he's been on tonight, hasn't he? He's thrown some good shots.
And it's resulted in a 3-point lead on the scoreboard. After 7 ends of play, McDonald will need 3 in the 8th to try to get it into an extra end.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
One end left to play. Jordon McDonald might be hoping 2. Shawn Joyce with Jim Nix, final of the men's Saville Shootout. Mike McEwen with a fine little touch draw to tap his own stone into the button. Picks up 2 in the 7th end. And here's the shot we haven't seen a lot. You see this a lot more in the doubles play, which is where it became quite prevalent. So when they throw the corner guard, the no-tick zone is only on a stone touching the center line. A stone out here could be moved. So what they're going to do is throw the tap from the outside, try to tap it into the rings, and then they can hit it on the next one. You see this played a lot in doubles play with the power play. So it makes the tap.
Maybe a little too hard.
Jordan worked
nice
really
try.
hard. That's the hardest you're ever going to see a skip sweep. and the longest. It's usually only 6 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen that shot very much myself. I just haven't watched a lot of doubles, so.
You don't see it a lot, but you will see it in these situations with a 3-point lead. And I mean, if it was only 2, they might not even play that. They might just continue to play to the center. But you got one pass at it. There's no point to play it on the next shot because the 6th shot at the end you can peel anyway. So you got one pass at it. If you put it into the rings, you could throw a hit on the next one. It's interesting that earlier on in the game when they needed 2 corner guards, they threw them on the same side. This time, And with that first guard being as long as that, they still split the house. There's going to be a double peel available. Can't play it now. This is still the 5th stone of the end, but splitting the rings with those guards, they've left a chance for the double peel for Kevin Marsh on his next stone. And when you need 3 here to tie, you really need 2 corner guards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throwing the 3rd corner guard, that might be why they're doing it. Well, he's indicated 12 foot. Now it would be in the rings, but actually technically could still be considered a guard the way this ice swings.
Yeah.
Got a nice line coming by. I don't think it's actually critical here that you're into the rings, but that was the call. I'd sure like to get it buried.
It's pretty close to buried.
Yeah, it's a tight corner. That's a good shot there. Mike took a look at where they need to hit this to play the double. Cross the house, try to catch the one on the other side, tighter to the rings. We're on the brush all the way down. It's going to be a little thick, goes across the top.
Yeah, he probably had to hit only I don't know, the 5th or 6th of that rock to make that.
It was thin. Looking to come in now, sit on the face of one of the reds in the house. You could throw one more point there, as long as he doesn't make the double. Comes up a little short. That probably leaves a double on those 2 yellows, although does the one that's just biting the rings, is it jamming? If you hit the outside one, I guess if you hit the outside one first and kick it straight sideways, you can make it.
I think he can make it if he hits the outside one first. I just because I do think that'll go.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. I was looking at the wrong one first, really, when I initially said it. Well, and that's the way Colton's looking at it too. Maybe killing one of the reds with it, but you'd hate to jam it.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely didn't want to jam it. It's just, you jam it and they do come around the corner, and then all of a sudden you're just one shot away from a 3.
Colton's thinking with the weight that he could throw, he can kill 3 here, 2 guards and one of the redstones, and
yeah,
he can, but it's all a question of you have to hit it precisely right, and do you really need to take that chance right now?
I think if he's hitting the outside one first, then he's not trying to make the...
No, but when Colton came down, he asked about hitting it the other way. Hit the middle one first and come in, and then take it out off one of the reds.
Yeah.
Colton Flash throws the big weight as well as anybody. He could certainly throw hard enough to make that. But if you jam it, that's the only way you give up a chance here, I think. He's really thin on the first
Through
one.
the hole? No.
Well, a bit of a bonus, makes the double and rolls the shooter all the way through, so it doesn't leave another rock in play.
Where's Jordan going with this one?
He's playing the corner freeze again. I thought he might have to come around here. You got 4 rocks left. You need to count 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working through the progression in my head. You are too. We're both quiet.
Yeah, I know.
I'm thinking you come around here. He has to peel the guard. Then you can play the freeze. He hits the back one.
Yeah.
He still can't get the front one out. You can play something off the back one, and you've got the double here. Right now, Mike McEwen's just going to... I'm surprised he's looking at peeling the guard. I thought he'd just hit the yellow and release it.
Yeah, I think it ended up in a really good place. It's tough to get the yellow out of play, I think.
Yeah, but I think you hit it on the center line side, get rid of the red, so you can make a hit on the yellow in the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking if you
clear the yellow with, yeah.
If you can get that yellow one to stay somewhere and still have a chance to come around a corner, if the corner is still there, and you come around the corner, now you at least have 2 rocks in the house.
Yeah, the problem is you need 3.
I know. He hits the open one, you come around the corner again, and then somewhere you need a miss or 2. But the corner guard's gone now, so that's going to make it a little bit more of a challenge too. Can you get this one somewhere where you can't throw any of the yellows?
Come around them. That's all I'm seeing. You got to come around to the back 12.
I think I like that better. I was looking at that earlier, and that might have been too early when I was thinking about it. But even if you come around it on the intern side,
yeah, you play this now, and he's not going to try to kill both yellows. He's going to. That must be what they're thinking, but he's going to hit one yellow to release it, and then come over and try to jiggle the other one. And if he does that, he releases both of them. He certainly is going to release one. He might release both.
Yeah.
He actually might not even need to release both. But there's going to be a double left in the middle if he can release them both, and then you have to protect one of those stones. How do you do that?
Yeah, I know.
And come into the rings, because you can't really throw one out front.
Yeah.
Didn't get the line he needed there either.
No.
So you hit that one, come across, touch the yellow stone, or if you miss the yellow, even if you're thin on the first yellow, miss the second one altogether and just clip the back of the red, that still works. I think Mike's thought was just, can we just peel this out? And you could. Yeah. Peel those 2 and lose your shooter. Lose the yellow and the red both, lose the shooter, because the 2 in the other side, they're staggered in a way that you could blast them again and kill one yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be hard. He'll end up probably moving something else around. So
even if he knows hits this,
yeah,
he's got to. Then it'll be up high enough that he can't jam the yellow on the other side when he knows hits it on the next one.
Yeah. If he knows it, you have to assume that McDonald will come around those 2 staggards, and then have to hope.
Mike McEwen with his first. Just looking to make a yellow go away. Wants to lose his own with it. Does. Leaves the shooter right there.
You set this on the corner of the yellow, where the no yellows would go out. I guess he could hit the back yellow because he could pick it. Yeah, if he sits it right there.
That's probably your best bet, because the way they're angled, if you had to, you could smash the top of the yellow and kill both reds.
Yeah. Because now that yellow's, he can get rid of that yellow now, which he couldn't get rid of him a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
The rocks were sitting. So if you sit right there, I think that's pretty good. I still think McEwen could decide not to touch the top one.
Yeah, he will. I mean, if you make this good enough, he's just going to come in and bring another rock into the rings, whether he plays a straight draw or tap the one that he just threw. But I guess at this point in time, you have to be happy if you're like, he's got a shot to smash out one of the rocks that you need. If you've got him playing anything else, then you maybe feel like you've got a chance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you just throw the straight draw, you have to feel like there's not much chance he's missing that blast.
No.
So anything you can play that doesn't give him a chance to play that.
Yeah, I just don't see anything else, because no matter where else you put this rock, if you don't put it there, then you can play the double on the yellow red.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was looking for anything else myself too, and I just don't see anything. Line looks pretty good.
Yeah, sweepers are just...
You don't want to bounce off at all. Oh boy, that seemed to grind to a halt. The line's pretty good, but he left enough room that Mike could probably pick it clean.
Yeah, too bad. Just 2 inches less curl and another foot of weight, and it's very interesting. But you know what? It's at least you're making him throw this one, and
you are. Although they're going to talk about it, does he have to hit it?
No, I don't think he has to hit it. No.
I guess there's a shot right now off the red into the second yellow and get both reds that way, but you could always play to move the red. The only way you really hurt yourself here is if you jam the yellow, and boy, you'd have to be really thin to do that, or thick, I guess.
Yeah. I think I'm Jordon McDonald, but I'm kind of hoping he's playing this hit, because I know he can end the game with it, but I know it gives me a chance with it. If he plays an out turn draw just into the 8 foot somewhere or something like that, I probably don't have a shot.
Yeah.
Not a real difficult shot for McEwen, though. Just has to hit half a rock or something. And well,
don't think he liked it from the hacks.
No. Nope. It's an odd discussion right now.
Yeah, there's no way I'm playing that in off the red that they were just looking at. That could make it easier for 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Right now, if you didn't throw, the shot for 3 is there, but it's not easy.
No, I know.
Hate to make it easier.
Well, I know, and that's what I'm thinking with this shot. If it ever does curl up a little too much, he ends up with maybe a double for 3, but not a crazy hard double. I think
picks it clean through the port. That'll run Jordon McDonald out of rocks, and Mike McEwen is the champion here at this year's Saville Shootout. Exciting game, entertaining for us, entertaining I hope for you at home as well. Jim, thanks for joining me here this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, Shawn. It was great. I thought it was a really, really good game. Really super well played by the McEwen team, and both teams.
And they made it interesting, right? A lot of angles, a lot of. Boy, what end was it there? We said between the two teams, they made the same shot, a really good shot, about 6 or 7 times in a row. It's a well-played game, except, like you said, maybe 2 shots that Jordon would like to have back.
yeah, 2 surprising misses, not hard shots for him, and just for whatever reason, just.
So thanks for joining us. That's the final of the Saville Shootout here on Curling Stadium Edmonton, and stay tuned for events just about every weekend from now till Christmas on Curling Stadium. A lot of curling action to come through the season as it's just getting underway.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.